Happy New Year! It's 2026 and I don't have any traditional resolutions, which feels very weird. I don't like the new year. You can start new habits whenever you like. It doesn't have to be the new year. Or like me, maybe you don't want to start the year off rushing into anything. This year I've been thinking more about how I want to feel rather than what I want to do. I have chronic illness and it's not fun to live with, and it's really hard to manage your energy whilst also getting things done. And with a new year, there's always so much pressure to reset and become this perfect version of you overnight. And this year, I'm not doing that. I'm getting ready to go out for my cousin's 18th. So this is why my hair looks silly. And I'm gonna do a bit of makeup while we're chatting. I realised after I finished university and I had projects on the go all the time and deadlines and learning stuff, and I loved it, but I was starting to get a bit ready to end. And when I finished, I have realised that I'm a bit lost without some structure. So I decided to find specific things I wanted to focus on. So these are the 3 pillars of 2026 for me anyway. The first one, jump scare, is sustainability. Sustainability for me basically means that I'm building on routines that I can come back to during bad days. I have good days, I have bad days. Good days, I can get a couple of things done. I still need to rest. I still need to prioritize myself a little bit, but I need to think of things that I can implement that I can do every day, no matter how my energy is. So essentially, if something is only going to work when I'm at 100%, which I'm never at, then it's not a realistic system for me. So I need to make sure that things work around me, not the other way around, or I will hurt. The next one is honesty, which is funny now I'm contouring. I am not gonna pretend that I've got it all figured out, because I don't. I am literally living by the seat of my pants. Basically meaning that I want to show you guys things as they actually are, not just as polished influencer kind of content, because that's not really me. Don't get me wrong, there are days where I'm like, oh, this looks pretty and oh, I could do this, and but that's not going to be every day, it's not going to be all the time. My life isn't perfect, and I'm betting neither is yours, especially if you're watching this. And the final pillar is gentleness over urgency. So I'm not rushing any timelines. I am hoping to get videos out every week this year, but things happen. That's okay. But as long as I'm maintaining some kind of progress, no matter how slow it is, that's gonna mean more in the long run. So this is how I'm approaching 2026. I'm just taking it one step at a time, one day at a time. So if you're doing the same as me, I'm really glad that you're here because we can figure it out together. So as I've discussed, this isn't so much a reset as checking in with myself. Because to me, January is more of a landing place rather than a launch pad. It's for taking stock, seeing where we are, seeing what we need, and building from there. So this is designed to choose to use January as more of an information gathering event. For me, that is basically just paying attention to what feels supportive and what quietly drains me. Because there are things that I don't realise are draining and they get me every time. As I have probably already mentioned, I'm not doing traditional resolutions. So let's get that out of the way. What I am doing is thinking about what I'm returning to, what I'm doing less of, and how I'm protecting my energy. I'm essentially just making sure I don't add too much. Otherwise, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to be successful. At the moment, I'm actually letting go of dieting. So I gained a lot of weight from steroids to save my eyesight, and now I'm off them. I have managed to lose about 1.5 stone, which is great, but absolutely plateaued for the last 6 months. To try and get back on course with the whole dieting, because I can't really do exercise because of the chronic illness and I would literally crash if I did it now, I decided to download a food tracking app just so that I can maybe see where I'm going wrong, if there's any hidden calories and things, you know. I was given a calorie target of about 1,600 calories. I realised that I was most often about half that per day. 800 calories a day, which is not good. Obviously, my rational brain knows that, but that wasn't who was in control at the time. And essentially, I, over Christmas, didn't eat very much at all, which was very silly, very stupid. And I think this is the only thing that I'm doing more of. I am eating more. That was really hard to talk about. I'm trying to keep it really simple and just think about eating regularly rather than well right now. Although I am still making sure that I get my greens. Something I want to try and do is try to step outside once a day because I am a little bit agoraphobic. And if I'm able, I want to try and implement just simple stretching into my routine. I know it's good for me and helps me in a lot of ways, but then I just don't do it. Oh, well, I'll just do this later. Oh, well, it's fine. I'll figure it out. And I never do. I am starting to notice what I'm prone to doing if I'm anxious or tired. Tired, I tend to just switch off and just zombie. But if I'm anxious, I tend to overplan. So what I'm trying to say is I want to try and do less planning, a little bit more spontaneity from me. The one problem is with the planning thing, part of that is also survival for me because I do have to plan things quite well to be able to do the stuff that I want to do. Say if I want to try and do something a little bit more physical, even if it's just walking around the shops, I often need to plan ahead, think about things I might need, make sure that I'm able to rest enough the day before and the day after, make sure I don't overstretch myself, etc. So part of it I cannot actually let go. But some, when it's because of anxiety, I need to. The final thing is protecting my energy. That is really very simple. It's just making decisions based on how my body responds, not what I think I should handle or should be able to handle. Like walking the dog, I want to be able to just go for the walk, right? But I can't do very long walks, so I use a mobility scooter. But I can do little walks. So depending on what both I and the dog need, we'll figure out what we need to use rather than just going for the walk and realizing that, oh, I'm dead for the rest of the day actually. I'm also, because, I need to, building in more pauses throughout the day. So I have obviously things that I need to do throughout the day, whether that's making content or just general housework or looking after the dog, whatever. I am trying my best to take maybe half an hour a day and going, right, what does my body need? How can I pause without literally falling asleep? Because sometimes I do that and sometimes I need that. That's fine. But I'll usually just keep doing something like editing or filming until I'm ready to die. I don't want to be that way anymore. I know it's illness, I know, but I need to reset a few times throughout the day. And one little system I've come up with is just this little list, and I pick one or two things off there and I do them. It's really that simple. And it's usually something that is nourishing to me in some way, whether that's the movement, so I get to do the stretching that I mentioned before, or I do some walking. I also have like a little mini bike machine type thing, and I can do something on there while I watch TV. That's cool. I can do meditation. I really enjoy meditations, so why am I not doing more of them? So that's on the list. Or I can just enjoy a hot drink with no screens, which is actually really hard to do. But we'll work on that one. That's okay. It'll come in time. So the things are just reminding myself, oh, I can look up stuff, or oh, I can just go read. Duh. The creating one I'm finding difficult because we don't have, other than my desk, we don't have any usable tables in the house. So I want to get some sewing done, I want to draw, I want to paint. Knitting is fine, but like I knit and then I run out of yarn and I'm not actually knitting anything, I'm just knitting for the act of knitting. I'm not actually creating anything. So I need to maybe think about how to actually create something that way, because I think that's pretty much the only usable thing I can do right now. Plus another thing I can kind of just do in front of the TV if I want to. And the last thing, I reserve mostly for Sundays, which are kind of like reset days for me. It's basically just ways that I can pamper myself. So I can do like an extended skincare routine with like face masks and, you know, relaxation and whatever. Or I can use the massage gun and pummel my back into submission, which doesn't always work because I end up in more pain than I started in, but you know. And the fact that I can like choose between these feels so much more safe because I can register what is gonna work for me that day. And I have like a whole little menu. It's really cool. That is what I'm focusing on right now. I'm just gonna adjust as I go, not too much pressure on myself, and just let things be. The new year doesn't have to be this great big thing. It can just be, hey, this is where we are right now. It's that simple. So if you're approaching the month gently too, I'm glad you're here. Because despite what the world keeps telling us, we don't have to rush. Here we are. I look like a weirdo, which is entirely the point. Anyway, I am very inspired by the nails. We've gone light blue and burgundy. Anyway, that is enough for this week. You're probably sick of me. I will see you next week. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, see you soon. And have a good, gentle start to January. Bye.